I'm welcoming viewers around the world, viewers all over the social media, and especially viewers in Massachusetts. My name is Ronald Bernard, and I'm hosting the show called Dialogue with the Candidate. Dialogue with the Candidate, it's a show that MCTV is bringing for the viewers to know who's running for office, and we can have the candidate to come to our platform, and they can talk about their political agenda, their plan, and how they plan to improve people's life. So today, we are glad to have with us Gary Ratcliff Jr.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Gary, for coming to our platform, and we are glad you're here, and we're going to talk about Randolph.
Indeed.
So, Gary, you're running for town councilor at large.
Correct.
For Randolph. So why are you running for town councilor?
That is a great question, Ronald, and thank you so much for letting me be here on MCTV. Your invitation is greatly accepted by my committee, so I send thanks again from them and myself.
Thank you.
Randolph, I'm here. I'm running for town councilor at large because there are three things that are dear to my heart: service, access, and the ability to build bridges. The service part, Ronald, is purely about being available to Randolph, serving Randolph, because being a counselor is a public servant.
Okay.
And as a public servant, you need to be able to know who you're serving. And Randolph, we have such a diverse population. Hence my shirt.
Okay.
The different flags here represent different countries that are represented within Randolph. And that's important to understand. Who are you serving? How are you going to serve them? And how are you going to make their life the best life that they can have here in the state of Massachusetts, but more specifically in the town of Randolph? So there was a need that needed to be fulfilled. Someone came up to me one day, Ronald, and said, "Gary, what are you doing with yourself?" I said, "Well, I'm working. I have my family. I'm taking care of my children, making sure that they have a great education, making sure they have a wonderful home to come to." They said, "But we see the service that you're doing in the communities here and around our town. Can you serve in the role of counselor?" I'm like, "Hey, look, I'm no politician.
Okay.
So how are we going to start getting into politics?" They said, "Gary, you have what it takes." So I went to a meeting. I sat down at that meeting. I listened to the different issues that were going on in Randolph. And as I began to hear every single issue, I'm like, I can help with that. I can help with that. And I said, you know what? Forget it. This meeting is adjourned. I'm running for town councilor. So I had my first run in 2017.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I didn't make it in, but I learned a vital lesson. Being green in politics, you're going to learn very quickly.
Okay.
Knocking on doors, getting to know the residents, hearing the issues that are on their heart, getting pamphlets out to the seniors who don't watch TV as much or cannot go on social media, learning what ticks for different people, what drives different people. So Randolph is known as a sleeper town.
Okay.
And a sleeper town is those who come here, sleep here, work, and play somewhere else. I said, we have to change that. What can we bring to Randolph that will bring people here not only to live in a home, but want to thrive, grow businesses, and have fun as families here in Randolph? So all of these things combined really have driven me to want to run for office and help serve the public.
Okay, and as you, thank you first for answering the question, and I think that people, they have a broad understanding of why you are running for office, for town council at large for Randolph. So you mentioned about serving people.
Yes.
And through the examples you give, that means it seems your relation with the community is pretty tight.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things people always reproaching, people is running for office. So when they get elected, sometimes they not return. They don't see their faces that often. Is it like, what can you say about that? Like,
well, I've been doing this for a long time in terms of community building, working with others, mentoring, Some of the people I mentor are now working for Fortune 500 companies. They're in government themselves, running nonprofits, other local organizations within their countries, or here in the United States. So this is a lifelong thing.
Okay.
You can ask my mother and my father about my giving. I've always been a giver. If it was a Krispy Kreme donut, if I had a dozen, I only ate one because I gave the rest away.
So you mean you're not going to be too busy handling, let's say, trying to work things with the other counselors, and, the resident wouldn't see you that often. That's obvious, right?
Well, there's always a busy schedule. I have a ridiculously busy schedule right now.
Okay.
Between work, between home. I have my eldest daughter. She's in college. So, juggling those things. But then at the same time, I'm out here on the campaign trail. I'm engaging with the voters who will vote for me on November 5th and say to them, hey, look, I am the town councilor at large. I see myself as that already. It's not waiting till I get in the office. It's about being in the office here and here.
Okay.
And that's why I'm ready.
Okay. Thank you. And if we go back, for instance, on your website, there are three pillars.
Correct.
You put. It's leadership, accessibility, and bridge building. So would you mind to let the viewer of MCTV who are listening right now to understand your plan, your strategy focus on these three pillars?
Wow. So, and I love that you said pillars, because I do see it as the foundation of not only my campaign, but on my time that I will be there on the council. Talking to the Randolphians. Leadership. Number one, I'm a natural born leader. When I was brought up in North Carolina, I was taught three things by my grandfather. Always be respectful, always look for opportunities and take hold of them, but number three, most importantly, remember who you are and where you come from. What these taught me, Ronald, is to be a leader, is to know your people, know yourself, but also see the opportunities to advance both the people and yourself.
Okay. And how about accessibility? What do you mean in terms of accessibility for people in Randolph?
So specifically for Randolph, accessibility, it means a couple of things. Number one, we need a better communication infrastructure. Right now in Randolph, our communication infrastructure is not as good as it should be going into 2020. We don't even have a chief information officer. How do you do that? That makes no sense right now. Residents are saying they're not getting information on time, or they're not being properly informed about issues such as, the water came up, or parking issues, or traffic studies and the speed limit going to 25 miles per hour overnight. These things should have been communicated in a very rapid and simple way. And a CIO here in town will help do that, help build our communication infrastructure. Partnering with that is bringing in businesses that will help us focus on those issues, such as transportation. If you go from North Main to Warren Street by Five Guys and Walgreens, you'll notice that the MBTA stops there. You don't have transportation going from North Main and Warren all the way to Mateo Drive, where the movie theater is, Not Your Average Joe's, Outback, the new Holiday Inn, Popeyes, Bob's Store, the post office. There's no transportation to the post office. If a senior or a person with other abilities wants to get to the post office, they either have to call an Uber or a Lyft. That's spending money.
Yeah.
If they can't get a friend to do it, they're walking. That's a long way to walk, especially in frigid weather, rain, or snow. This is a safety issue. Also, there are no sidewalks leading up that way. So if someone is walking there, they're walking between the road and somebody's yard, private property. So you're either trespassing or you're going to get hit by a car. We have to address these issues. So that's why I'm talking about accessibility. Accessibility means making it accessible for all. Last but not least, accessibility means making it more accessible for families.
Yeah.
I would love to be in Randolph with my family more often. So in North Randolph, I would love to see an art gallery. Let's bring an art gallery to Randolph. That would bring so much more of a premier crowd that says, hey, we love art. We love the idea of art. But also combining that with our school systems to where we have artists teaching the young people how to do art properly, to where they can also host in a gallery setting. Also, South Randolph. I would love to see a skate park. A skate park in South Randolph would bring families from all over the Commonwealth. Having families come from all over the Commonwealth does what? Brings money.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
once you're here with your family, you're going to want to spend money in Randolph. So that increases our need for restaurants that cater to families, other shops that cater to families, such as clothing stores. So we'll bring that business to Randolph by having a skate park, by having an art gallery. West Randolph is our entertainment hub right now. As I said, we have our movie theater there. We now have a Holiday Inn. But also, we have our bars like the West End Grill. And it's game time, which is a new business here. And what we can do there, we can cater to the urban professionals, but as well as college students. It's right there near the highway. And so students and working professionals can come from around other towns in the South Shore, come there, have a good time, and go right back on the highway to their place where they live. Versus having coming through the center of town and people talking about noise and traffic. No, it has its own area, West Randolph. Last but not least, East Randolph. So we're bringing definition, accents, advertising Randolph. East Randolph has a huge industrial park. I would love to cater to tech manufacturing companies to say, come to Randolph. Bring your business to Randolph because we need you here. We want you here. And as you come, invest in us. So instead of going to the MBTA saying we need a new bus line, let's hire a private transportation company and say, the tech manufacturing companies, invest in us. Take the load off of us and invest in this private transportation company that needs to go from North Warren down to North Main Street down to Warren, or from Oak and North Main to Chestnut, where we have apartment complexes and other homes that don't have transportation there either. So accessibility means making the Randolph accessible to all.
Okay. I'm going to go to the third one, but before that, I would like to remind all the viewers, you are listening to Dialogue with the Candidates. Dialogue with the Candidates, it's a show that MCTV is bringing to you. MCTV, which is Multicultural Television Network. And we have candidates to come here to our platform. They can inform you about their plan, their agenda, and how they plan to tackle issues the communities are facing. So we have with us Gary Ratcliff Jr. is running for Town Councilor at Large for Randolph. So we're going to continue with the three pillars. So the last one is bridge building.
Correct.
So what do you mean by that and how that is going to be implemented?
Now, I need to really talk sincerely to my Randolphians. Right now, we're in a state of divisiveness. We are divided as a town, and it's unfortunate. We don't have to be that way. We can be united, and as united we stand, but divided we fall. As a bridge builder, I will work with each and every sitting councilor who is elected on November 5th along with me. I will work with them tirelessly to reach agreements so that we can better serve each Randolph resident, each family, and each person who is in need of our assistance. Bridge building takes time, it takes effort, but most all, it takes tenacity and a demeanor like mine to face it on and bring it to Randolph. So building bridges, Ronald, is all about what do we have in common.
Okay.
What do we have in common is Randolph. And our residents who are looking to our leadership, who are looking to us for answers to their questions, and who are looking to us to address the needs of this town. And as a bridge builder, I'm willing to reach across both sides of the table and say we are going to hammer this down and figure out how to make this work for our residents.
So as you mentioned that and you answered that way, so it's about the needs people or the resident of Randolph are facing. So what what is the most, like, the main issue right now, like residents of Randolph are facing, the main issue?
The main issue that we're finding out that is happening in Randolph is how do we grow together?
Okay.
So that comes with a lot of things.
Yeah, that's complex.
Whether it's from our zoning, which is a part of our master plan, and how we're going to zone. We have a master plan that community members came together. The council, the local government came together. Our schools came together. Everybody sat down, and our town manager, our former town manager, said, this is what we need for Randolph, and our residents gave us feedback. So in our master plan, we have an outfit for everything from economic development to sustainable growth to safe areas, our green spaces and open spaces. We have so much in that master plan that we really need to focus on, and we need to not only use it as a guide, but use it as our advance for the future.
Okay.
Our master plan is our guide and our advance for the future. So we put those together, guess what? We have a strong foundation and a path leading to success for our town.
So that plan, has it been implemented or partly being implemented, or is it something that as initial stage?
It's already done. It's on our town website, the Town of Randolph website. It's there. People can read it, download it, go through it, hammer it, just like I've done many, many times, and actually see what foundations we can build off of. So if our conversations are around different things like taxes or mixed use spaces, we can look there and say, hey, what is our foundation? Where do we need to go from here?
Okay. So now if we move to education, and I'd like to know the support probably you plan if you get elected to bring to the youth in Randolph High School. Like, I don't know your plan yet, but, you know, how you're going to support them throughout, you know, the challenging they're facing.
So this is something near and dear to my heart. Now, as a counselor, it's not so much one of my duties to actually work with the schools, but it will be part of my passion to know where I came from in terms of being a teenager that was frustrated with life, and you know, I was full of angst, as my uncle would say. And you know, you got to find a way to let that thrive and grow, but maturely. Okay. Not prematurely and not in a negative way. So I really want to work with youth, for instance, having some, bringing the art gallery here, having some work with the artists there, but also civic engagement. Okay. I graduated from the Commonwealth Seminar, which opens the doors to minorities and teaching them about government. And I want to do that for our high school seniors here, as well as our high school juniors. And then we'll be able to teach them about local government and be able to help educate them on the process. So working with our student body government and saying, hey, there's more here. And you can also teach, and your fellow students can learn from you. You can not only teaching them how to government works within the school body, but how government works at your local level as well as your state level. So I want to bring a civic leadership program here. But another thing is I want to address youth homelessness. Okay. Youth homelessness is not just about somebody laying on the street corner and not having the ability to have food and proper clothing or a roof over their head. There are couch surfers. You're staying with one friend here, another friend there, and you're just trying to figure out how you're going to solve these life problems that you have. We have a lot of foster kids here in Randolph. As a mentor, I've worked with the foster system with DCF and homes that are children that are displaced out of their homes and they're going to different foster homes. My parents have foster children. My foster brothers, they're near and dear to my heart. Also, they're deaf. So that's a whole nother community that is facing youth homelessness at a rapid rate. So I really want to tackle it and address it and find ways to either bring homes that address youth homelessness or programs that'll help us get them on their feet, get them into a successful position in life so that they can thrive as a Randolphian.
Okay. As most of, let's say, all the candidates that I had on the podium before, they talk about Randolph is diverse. There's a huge diversity in Randolph. So how comfortable are you, like, you get elected, and as you mentioned, like, unity, bringing, all the culture together. So what's your plan?
Well, I am Randolph.
Okay.
It gets no clearer than that. I am Randolph. Each country here, and there's more countries representing Randolph. In the next version of the T-shirt, I will have more countries,
okay.
Especially the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. I've been demanded to get those two added.
Okay.
But understanding this diversity is more than just saying we have it.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a unique state to make history as Randolph. Because being the most diverse in all of New England, not just the Commonwealth, not just South Shore, but all of New England, we have a unique opportunity to show people how to work together as a diverse community by defining ourselves through different celebrations that I want to bring. So one, in fact, is, did you know that when Greece sought its independence, that Haiti was the first to recognize Greek as an independent state?
Okay.
I want to celebrate that. Bringing that unity there through a celebration, the first of its kind to be done here in Randolph, where the Greeks and the Haitians can realize that their history is intertwined by that one decision to say, you are recognized by us. We fought for our freedom, and we are a free nation of Haiti. Now we also want you to be free. And one way that they did that, coffee was one of the hugest importers or exports at the time. They went and they sold coffee and sent the money to Greece to help them fight their war. But also in that recognition, other countries began to recognize Greece as an independent nation. Bringing things like that here solidifies us as celebrating diversity in a very unique and detailed way. Being the first of its kind, we will change history, not only for Randolph, but for diverse communities around the world.
Okay. Thank you for the history background here. So I believe the viewers, they enjoy, listening to the answer. And I would like once more to remind all the viewers, you are listening to Dialogue with the Candidates, which is a show that comes from MCTV, which is Multicultural Television Network. And it's bringing this show in order to inform the audience about who's running for office, their plan, their agenda. And you, as viewers, when you go to the poll, you will make informed decision. So we still have with us, and we're going to continue with the dialogue with Gary Ratcliff Jr. And the question that I'm going to ask, it's like, let's say November 5th, the election, and you get elected.
I will.
Okay. And now, what's the first project the resident of Randolph would expect from you?
Well, first things first. I'm new to the government. I want to understand how the government currently is working. With my operations and administrative background, it's important to know the details of the inner workings of any organization that you're a part of. And day one, once I'm in that office, I'm going to hammer down detail after detail after detail, understanding how we've been operating and how we can improve right again tomorrow when I wake up. So first day, find out what's going on. Next day, start working on solutions to the problems that we have.
Okay, so now we are about to end the show. It's at the end, and Gary just talked about what's going to be his first project once he get elected, or if he get elected. So I always give this opportunity for all the candidates who come to the platform, and it's the opportunity to make your case to the viewers, why they should vote for you, why they should leave their house and go and take the line at the polls and vote for you. So Gary, now it's your time to make your case to the viewer of MCTV.
Everyone watching and listening to me right now, Again, this is a very critical time in Randolph to where we all need to come together. And coming together on November 5th, voting Gary Ratcliff Jr. as your next town council at large means you vote for leadership that is clear, concise, and direct. You want to make Randolph accessible for all. You want to be celebrated, and you want to celebrate Randolph every single day, not thinking about where you have to go outside of Randolph to eat, to have fun, or if you're seeking transportation, how you're going to get around. I'm going to help fight for that. Census 2020 is coming up, and there are a lot of our immigrants in the community who are saying, I will not want my name associated with the census. I am here to say I will protect you, I will fight for you, and I will teach you how to work with the census so that the federal government can give us the money that we so deserve and we need to advance Randolph for the future. I will make sure that you know that you are protected and you are supported. Transportation is coming, protection is coming, but most importantly, I want to bring this up. We need to focus on our youth and making sure that they have a success plan in order so that they can see themselves growing and advancing in this town. One other way that I want to help education is bringing a premier Christian education school here to Randolph. Premier education, saying that no longer will we send our children out to charter schools, Catholic schools, parochial schools, and other schools outside of Randolph, but bringing a premier Christian school here will begin to up our game in the education system. So, vote for me on November 5th. You want leadership, accessibility, bridge building, but most importantly, somebody who cares enough for the community to invest in our future, the youth of Randolph. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and all the viewers. We have a great opportunity to have to our platform today, Gary Ratcliff Jr. So he's running for Talon City Council at large for Randolph, and the election is on November 5th. He's just making his case, and it's you, viewers, who's going to judge based on your decision on November 5th. So my name is Ronald Bernard, and I'm hosting the show called Dialogue with the Candidate. I will see you for the next show.